The month of March is by far one of the busiest months when it's time to plan for the summer garden. And in this video, I'm going to go through my March garden to-do list, and I'm going to share with you, here are the 10 things that you need to be focused on the month of March if you want to have a productive and abundant summer garden. If you're new here, my name is Barbara. I live in the state of Tennessee, and I'm in zone 7B. But no matter where you're coming in from, I would love to know if this is your first time landing on my channel. Please say hello in the comments if it is, and let me know what city, state, or country you're coming in from so I can say hello back to you. And if you've been here before, thank you so much. Welcome back. I'm excited to do this video, and I've been doing these videos for the last few months, sharing with you a to-do list for the month, and it's been quite successful. You guys have really enjoyed it, so I thought I would keep it up. And basically, y'all, I'm taking my list and I'm just verbally sharing it with you so that you can be focused on the same things I'm focused on as we all try to get our summer gardens ready. What you do in this month highly will be instrumental in how your summer garden performs. Now, I always say, yeah, there's definitely the summer press, and I call the summer press when you're in the throes of the summer in June, July, and August, where things are coming in every day and there's always something to do in the garden. But the spring prep is just as busy, and I know for me, this month of March is off the chain. My to-do list is this long, y'all. I have so many things to do to get ready for the summer garden, and I'm sure that you do too. So lock in, and I want you to take some paper, take some notes, and I want you to write down the things that I'm sharing, the 10 things that you need to be focused on this month in the month of March. And then also, I want to know at the end, what things are you going to commit to? But before we do that, I want to highlight a sale that Greenstalk Garden is having. If you're new to Greenstalk Garden, they offer vertical garden containers, and I will pop a picture up here so that you can see what one looks like. And then also, let me talk about what is on sale. The one that is on sale right now is the 7-tier leaf planter. It has 42 pockets for you to garden in and to grow things in. It is perfect for your leafy greens, your herbs, your lettuces, and things like that. I absolutely love it. The depth of the pockets is 7 inches. So that way, you know, versus the original, it is 10 inches. So you can see the difference. The leaf planter, the one that's on sale, is a little bit more shallow than the original. Now, the leaf rarely goes on sale. It is normally $169, but with my code LFF10, you can get it for $109. That's saving $60, y'all. So if you've been in the market for a leaf planter and you've been waiting for a sale, or you want to add one to your collection, or this is your first time ever seeing the Greenstalk Garden, let me just tell you, it is a great way to garden, especially if you have limited space. It only takes up 2 feet of space, y'all. That means you can put it anywhere, on a little corner of a patio, on your apartment deck. But even if you have a lot of land like me, it is still a great option. Now, I have the picture up here so that you can see what one looks like. The only reason I'm not showing you mine is because you're going to see it next week. I am actually rearranging my whole Greenstalk Garden layout and setup. And so I am going to reveal that next week and show you what I have done. At least that is the plan. So that's the reason why I'm not walking over to my area and showing you what mine looks like. But just look at this picture up here. Use my code LFF10 for an extra $10 off. You can always use that code whenever you want to buy something from Greenstalk, and you can use it multiple times. When you use that code, it helps me out, and I really appreciate you guys doing that. Now, if you've never had a Greenstalk before, I highly, highly recommend it. But if you are part of the Greenstalk Garden Club, put it down in the comments below. Let me know if you're a part of the Greenstalk Garden Gang Club, whatever you want to call it, okay? All right, so let's jump into today. The 10 things that you need to be focused on in the month of March. Number 1 is starting your seeds indoors. Now, this has been on the list last month in February, and it's on the list now because for most of you, if not all of us, this is really the last month you're going to be starting seeds, okay? So you can still get in on the train. Again, if this is your first time landing here, I do a weekly seed starting challenge. I do a video every single week about what I'm starting in my garden that week. I have been doing it for this is my 3rd year doing it, but in terms of this year, we are on week 7. That video just posted on Wednesday, I think. So I will link that up here. I'll link the playlist up here, and you can go back and see all of the other videos if you missed it. But every week I am starting seeds. In the month of March, you should be starting seeds as well. This is your last opportunity to get in on starting seeds. You want to make sure that you're starting your seeds at the right time. So number one is starting your seeds indoors. Number two is this is the month and the time to direct sow some things outside. So for example, here's some things that you can be direct sowing right now. Your carrots is a great spring crop to direct sow. You don't want to start those indoors because they don't do very well with root disturbance and all that. You want to sow those things outdoors, and you can do that right now in this month. Also, beets is another one. Peas. I'm going to be doing my peas and my carrots hopefully this weekend. That is my plan. It's been on my to-do list, but y'all, I told you the to-do list is long. It is long. I'm trying to check things off, and they're being checked off, but just not nearly as fast as I want them to be checked off. But seeds, my peas and my carrots are hopefully going to be direct sown this week. I know where my carrots are going. I haven't decided yet on where my peas are going. I got one other little thing I'm working on, and I'm going to see if it works out. And I'll keep you posted. But back to number two. So direct sow your peas, your carrots, your beets. You can also be direct sowing right now your kale, lettuce, radishes. Those are also things that are good in terms of spring crops to be direct sowing. Also, when it comes to direct sowing, you want to think about your onions and potatoes. So if you started your onion seeds yourself indoors, like let's say December, January, and it's time for them to go out, this is the time, this is the month to put your onion slips out if you started your seeds yourself. If you bought onion slips like I did, then it's also the month to put your onion slips out. Also, potatoes. This is the time to direct sow your potatoes, okay? And so remember, if you've been following along, I've been giving you this heads up. Every single month, I've been giving you a to-do list of what to do. And that was the onion. Ordering your onions has been on the to-do list since like November. I've been saying that if for some reason you still have not ordered your onions, if you want to go to the company that I use, I'm not affiliated with them, but I've been using them for the last 4 years and I've had nothing but great success. That is Dixondale Farms. You can go out there and see. I'm pretty sure they still have onion slips that you can order, and they typically ship very quickly. I would think that you would have them within a week, okay? So go ahead, if you have not done that, do that now. And then if you have done that, go ahead and get a plan to get your onions in the ground this month. Also, potatoes. I've been asking you guys to go ahead and order your potatoes. My potatoes came about a week ago. They were not sprouted, so I have them in the root cellar because I prefer to go ahead and plant them when they at least have a couple of eyes on them. And so I ordered mine from Wood Prairie Farm. I always get mine, and you can tell it the shipping week that you want. I always get mine a couple of weeks before I want to plant because I know that they don't usually come with eyes. So I'm letting mine sprout, and I will plant those out this month in the month of March. And I will do a video on both the onions and the potatoes. But this is the month, this is the time to direct sow those things as well. So add that to your direct sow list. Number one is start your seeds indoors. So if you haven't started your tomatoes yet, if you haven't started your peppers yet, you still have time to go ahead and start that stuff now, and you'll be ahead of the curve. Number two is direct sow the things outside that can be direct sown. Your peas, carrots, radishes, beets, lettuce, kale, things like that. And then number three is transplant the stuff outdoors that you've already started for the spring. So again, in last month's video, when I talked about the to-do list, I talked about go ahead and starting those seeds indoors that were for your spring crops. That means things like cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower. If you started those things in February and they are of a decent size, usually around 4 weeks is when I transplant my things. If they're a decent size and the conditions in your area are conducive, go ahead and plant those things outside. So harden them off and transplant them outside. That is number three, is to transplant the things outdoors that you've already started indoors. But remember, only your spring stuff. Do not go out there and transplant your summer stuff if you still have the chance of a frost. So depending on what zone you are, if you're in zones, I would say 6 and higher, you still have a chance of frost, right? You're not going to be able to plant those things. Well, I shouldn't say 6 or higher. I would say between 6 and 8, somewhere along in there, 8 and below. Let's just say that. you still may have a chance of a frost. So you would not go out and transplant your tomatoes. You would not go out and transplant your peppers, okay? I just want to be very clear on that. So number one, sow your seeds. Start your seeds indoors. Number two, direct sow the things outdoors that can be direct sown. Carrots, peas, radishes, beets, kale, lettuce. And then number three is anything that you've started that is a spring crop and it's time to be transplanted, go ahead and put that outdoors. That brings us now to number four. Okay, number four is all around fruit trees. This is a perfect time of the year to plant fruit trees and fruit bushes. Now, you guys know that I am new and when it comes to the fruit game, okay? So I'm telling you more of what I've read and more of what I'm doing for the first time and not necessarily something that I have experience in. But for me, I planted our fruit trees. We did a huge fruit tree planting back in August and September. So we planted 13 fruit trees in the ground back then. But had I not done it in the fall, this would be the month that I would be doing that, especially if I was adding in new fruit trees, okay? And so we'll talk about that, later on about whether or not you want to plant in the fall and fall or in the spring when it comes to fruit trees. I think there is pros and cons to each one. But if you want to establish more fruit trees, add fruit trees, start fruit trees, this is the month to do it, okay? Now, a lot of my trees I talked about, I got from Fast Growing Trees. I have been extremely pleased with them. I am an affiliate for them, and I do have a code where you can get, I think it's $20 off or 20% off. I can't remember. It'll be in the description, okay? And I'll put it up here. And I'll also put my code if you want to get something from Fast Growing Trees. I will put my code up here so that you can do that. I have been very pleased. I also got fruit trees from some other places, but I will tell you, the Fast Growing Trees, y'all, they fast growing. They are fast growing. I want to show you some video of my lemon tree I got from Fast Growing Trees. If you've been here, you know I have not had success with lemon trees. But y'all, this lemon tree right here, and I'll talk more in detail about it on another video. But let me just show you. It is it's budding all over the place. Love to see it. I got that from Fast Growing Trees back in the fall. I had it outdoors for like maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and it's been in my sunroom the entire winter, and it has thrived, okay? Absolutely thrive. You can see all the buds and all the flowers and all the things on there. So wherever you get your fruit trees, that is one option. But this is the month to be planting your fruit trees, your fruit bushes, and all of that. I have some content coming up that we're making some changes to the fruit orchard. A lot of people have asked me, how are your fruit trees doing? Right now, they're looking really good. I mean, again, as good as I know, they are budding. They're still there. But we're making some changes to the fruit tree orchard. So you will see that also in an upcoming video. I told y'all, I got a lot of stuff moving and shaking, shaking and moving. So that's why if you have not subscribed to the channel, subscribe right now. Subscribe right now so that you do not miss what I have coming, okay? So number 4 is getting your stuff in the ground when it comes to your fruit trees, your fruit bushes, and all of that. Number 5 is get your garden beds ready. I have been focused heavily on that this week. I've hired somebody to kind of help me on the farm. I had somebody last season that helped me here and there, and that person got a job, and I was able to find somebody else that started helping this week with like just some of the heavy lifting stuff. And one of the things I had him doing was getting my beds ready. The ones that were already, in the tunnel, that were already kind of empty, we're starting to get those ready. So you want to amend your beds, okay? By now, hopefully you should have done your soil test. Have I done my soil test? I have not, but it's on the list for March. It is on the list for March. But amending your beds, fresh compost in all of your beds, redoing your walkways if you need to do that. This is the time for all of that kind of garden prep cleanup. Also, if you have trellises, making sure that you look at your trellises. Do they need to be replaced? If you have T-post and cattle panel, is everything in place? Do you need to move that around because you're doing some crop rotation? I have something new coming. Well, I guess I'll just go ahead and tell you. I have bought a trellis for the very first time, and I'm excited about it. And yes, I'm excited. That's all I'm going to say, and I'll show you when it gets here. But you want to have that stuff in place before you need it. You don't want to be in July and your cucumbers are all on the ground. You're like, I need somewhere for them to trellis up to, and you don't have your stuff in place. So this is the month to do that. So that's number 5. Now let's talk about number 6. So in number 4, we talked about planting your fruit trees, but number 6 is taking care of the fruit trees you have in your orchard. So if your stuff needs to be pruned, now for me, mine are first year, so they don't need any pruning because they're new. I just planted mine in the ground in September. But if you have established fruit trees, this is the month that you want to be pruning your fruit trees. I know for me, I am going to fertilize my fruit tree, so this is the month to fertilize. Also, I've been doing research about adding in something, it's called dormant oil, to kind of help repel the pest. Again, I'm new at this, so I've been doing a lot of research and a lot of watching videos, and what I've read tells me that I should be fertilizing in the month of March and also adding that dormant oil. So again, if you have an established orchard, get your stuff pruned. If you have rose bushes, this is the time to prune it. Spring is all about, it reminds me of like new life that is about to come forth, right? And so you want to prepare the things so it can produce the new life, the new foliage, and the new flowers. Okay, so that is number 6. So write that down, especially if you know that you have that on your to-do list for the month of March. Now let's move on to number 7. Number 7 is all about your compost. We talked about this last month, and I told you if you had not started a compost pile to go ahead and start one. So I'm going to tell you again, if you have not started a compost pile, go ahead and start your new one. If you already have your compost, go out there and check on your compost. I did do that this week. I went and checked one of my compost bins. I have to go check the other one to see, okay, do I have compost? Did it break down? And let me reestablish. So I just now started back this week adding in organic matter into my compost, and I'm going to start back turning it and adding water and moisture so that I can have the compost continue to break down. But then also the compost that I have already generated, I want to take that out and go ahead and use it. Okay, so I'm kind of like starting fresh. Okay, and for one of my compost, I have just one bin. Everything is kind of at the bottom, and I have a tray that I can pull out to get that compost. For my compost bin out here, it's double-sided. So again, I have a method to get out what has already been generated versus what I'm trying to establish. So definitely number 7 is get your compost beds in order and use what you already have, and then go ahead and start establishing some new ones you have, and then go ahead and start establishing some new ones. Now let's move on to number 8. We're talking about the 10 things you should be doing in the month of March. Number 8 is about infrastructure. Remember, spring, I keep telling y'all, March is one of the busiest months because it is the month that leads up to the summer garden the most. Because for me, I will start putting my stuff out at the end of April, especially in my greenhouse. My summer stuff will start going out there at the mid part of April, and then my stuff outside will start going out at the end of April, like the first week of May, unless the weather dictates something different. And so I got to get all this stuff in place. So when it comes to infrastructure, what we're doing this month is looking at our drip lines. So replacing any drip lines that need to be replaced. Also, my husband and I walked out to the garden, to the outside garden today, and we need to replace our landscape or our ground cover fabric. We have some that is frayed on the edges, and it's not because the fabric wasn't good. It was user error. Just when we first laid it down, we did not overlap as we should, and so now we're having to replace that ground cover. And so looking at all those things, your drip lines, your landscape fabric, maybe you don't have drip and you want to start that this year. I will go ahead and do that in the month of March. Also look around your homestead, your water hoses. Do you need a new water hose? Do you need a new hose reel? All of that infrastructure stuff, put that on your list to lay your eyes on it in the month of March and fix what needs to be fixed, buy what needs to be bought, and get your stuff in order. So that way, when it's time to put the plants out, you are ready to go. The other thing when it comes to your homestead, another thing to look at is your fencing. My husband and I was out there again this week looking at over everything. And again, it's amazing how when you haven't looked at it in a few months, you're like, ooh, that's broken, or that doesn't sit right, or that's not, as sturdy as it needs to be. We're also looking at our greenhouse. Is the plastic still good? Do we have holes anywhere? Is there anything that needs to be repaired? Right? Because a lot of times in the fall and winter, you're not out there every day like you are in the summer. Or there may have been some things that you left at the end of the summer. You're like, I'm going to get to that later. And you know what? Now is later. Now is later. And so now you got to go back and address the things that did not get fixed or that need to be fixed that has happened either last summer or since the summer has passed. So make sure that you do number 8, which is getting your homestead, your infrastructure all in place. Number 9 is about garden planning. Now I know I've been talking about garden planning for the last 2 to 3 months. Starting in January, I have a garden planning workbook that is 100% helpful. It has everything you need to plan your garden. If you're interested in that, I'll put a picture up here, and then also you can go and purchase that in our shop. It's just $19. It is absolutely wonderful. It has over, I think, 60, 70 pages. It tells you, it has garden planning sheets. It tells you a list of the warm season crops, the cool season crops. It gives you questions to ask. It walks you through spacing so that you know how close your things can be together. Like, it outlines everything you need to plan your garden. Now, I've been talking about it for 2 or 3 months, so you may say, well, Barbara, why shouldn't our gardens be planned by now? Yeah, they should. But I know if you're like me, you're not 100%, right? And so for me, because I'm planning 3 different spaces, this is the time of the year. Like, I have a general plan of what I'm growing. I have a general plan of, okay, where things might go, but I have not put pen to paper and really made a plan about this is what's going to go in row 6. I have not done that, and it is necessary for me to do that before I get out there to plant. And really, I do it around this time of the year because right now, where I am at the time of this video, I'm between weeks 6 and 7 before my last frost date. And so if you just watch my recent video where I did over 300 seeds, I did a lot of tomatoes and a lot of peppers. This is around the time of the season where I start to take inventory and say, okay, how many tomatoes do I really need? How many peppers do I really need? So that way, when it comes to next week, week 6 and week 5, whatever I don't have, I can go ahead and sow. Or if I have too much, I know I need to plan to sell and get my stuff in order. But I will actually map out row by row by row where things are going. Also, I've added some new crops this year. I've added new beds. You can see that bed back there. Now, that bed's not going to stay there. It's just there because my husband put it together inside the house and brought it out here. But that's my new elevated raised bed. That is a 2x6. That is from Vego Garden. Y'all know I heart me some Vego Garden. Now, I am an affiliate for them, but I was a Vego Garden fan before I became an affiliate and had bought their products way before I became an affiliate. That's how much I love their stuff. But that bed is going to go out to the outside garden. I have that new bed. I have, I got some new stuff. I got some new stuff. Let's just keep it at that. I have some new things, and so I need to plan my new spaces, okay? Because I have more to work with this year than I did last year, because every year I expand. My point is that you need to put it on paper. It cannot live in your head. It needs to be on paper. So plan out your space. I want you to plan out every pot. I want you to plan out every Greenstalk tier. I want you to plan out every bed. Now, some of y'all about to vomit. You just like, girl, that's too much. But I'm telling you, it is for your good. So do what you can. Do what's not going to make you vomit. But if you know, you know. Okay? So that is number 9. And then number 10 is this. We talked about this last month, and I'm going to talk about it again, is get your house ready for the summer garden. What did I mean? I want you to go look in your freezers, look in your pantry. What stuff did you can that you have not eaten? What is in your freezer? Y'all, I went to my freezers today. I got some work to do. Meaning, and again, it is a great blessing to have. I have abundance this fall. My largest freezer, I have 3 freezers in my garage. And my 3rd freezer is the largest one. And that's really what I call the garden freezer. So all of the stuff that we freeze from the garden is really that freezer. Y'all, it is full to the rim. And that is a blessing. But I don't like seeing it like that. I like for it to be halfway because I can't put anything else in there. Like, I am full to the rim. Now, I do have access to other freezers because we have a building on our property, a ministry building, and we have a commercial kitchen in that building. So there's like 10 freezers down there. So I have access to more freezers, but I really try to keep all of my stuff right up here at my house because it's easy access and out of sight, out of mind. Like, I'm pretty sure I have collard greens down at the ministry freezer because I haven't seen them. I forgot about them until just now. Right? And so I need to use up. And I've been using a ton of stuff this week. I have had spinach every day this week for breakfast. And y'all, let me tell you, that spinach is so good. best spinach I've ever had. I've been eating that. I've been eating radishes. I've been eating sweet potatoes every single week, trying to use up, again, what we have grown. And so I encourage you to do the same. Get your kitchen, get your pantry, get your freezers, get your root cellar, get everything prepared for the summer garden. Meaning, if you took the time to preserve it, if you took the time to can it, eat it, use it up, make sure that you're making space for all of the new stuff and all of the abundance that you're going to grow. So in doing that, it will give you an idea or a clue of what you need to be growing this year. Maybe you need to grow more tomatoes. Maybe you need to grow less tomatoes. Maybe you're like, we didn't really eat that. I don't need to do as much of that, right? There's some things on my list that I'm like, I don't know if I want to allocate that much space to that because we're not going through it. So okra for me is one. Now, when I first started growing okra, I had like 25 plants. That was way too many, and I could not keep up with it because we all know that okra is a diva, okay? Okra is like pig meat every day and sometimes twice on Sunday. And y'all, I reduced my okra to like 8 to 10 plants, and that is more manageable for me. But what I have found is that we don't eat okra as much as as much as I'm producing. And so I don't know if I need to skip a year of okra, if I need to do less okra plants. I'm not 100% sure yet. I'm still trying to figure that out about why we're not eating the okra. And I know one of the reasons is because my husband, he only likes it fried. He does not like it roasted. He does not like it baked. He don't want it in no tomatoes. He don't want it in no gumbo, no soup. He don't want it in it because he doesn't like the texture. He only likes it fried. And so for me, that's an extra step. And I tried not to eat as many fried foods. And so I know that that's one thing. Now me, I can eat it roasted. So I guess I need to just go ahead and eat it roasted with some stuff. But yeah, anyway, let me not try to solve that right here on this video. But that is an example of me looking at my freezer saying, okay, why do I have so much of that? Why do I have so much of that, right? Okay, we're not using that as fast. And so do I need to allocate that amount of space that I've been allocating? So that's the whole point, is know what you have and get your kitchens, your pantries, all your storage places ready for the new stuff by using up what you've done, and then also making sure that you understand, okay, what do I need to adjust or do different, okay? So y'all, those are the 10 things. Let me run back through them real quick. And I got my notes here that I've been looking at. So number 1, start your seeds indoors if you haven't done that already, or keep doing that. Number 2, direct sow the things that can be direct sown: potatoes, onions, beets, radishes, carrots, lettuce, kale. Number 3, transplant outdoors any of your spring crops that you've already started as seeds. Number 4 is plant your fruit trees and your fruit bushes. Number 5 is get your garden beds cleaned up, get them amended, get them fertilized. Number 6, do any pruning, prune your rose bushes, prune your fruit trees, get your things ready, fertilize your fruit trees, all of the things for your orchard, get that stuff in line. Number 7 is get your compost built up. Number 8, get your infrastructure done, drip lines, cleaning out your beds, checking your fencing, checking your gates. Number 9, plan your garden. Make sure that you know what's going where. And number 10 is use up the stuff that you have in your kitchen and prepare it for the summer abundant harvest. Now, what I want to know is which of these 10 is primary on your list that you like, I have absolutely got to get that done, and that's going to get done this month. And what I suggested last month, and I will suggest again this month, is maybe focus on 1 or 2 things a week, right? So what can you get done this weekend? What can you get done next week? What can you get done the 3rd week? And what can you get done the 4th week? You know your calendar. You know your home life. You know how things are running and rolling in the month of March. You know if you got baby showers and baby blessings and all that. So look at your calendar and carve out when you can get some of these things done, okay? I hope that this was helpful for you guys. Let me know in the comments. Talk back to me in the comments. Let me know what was helpful. Let me know what you're going to do. And let me know how you're feeling about the upcoming summer garden season. If you have not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and subscribe. Remember, y'all, this is all a journey, but it's so much fun to be able to do it with you. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now, friends.